Hi, this is Jenny Langley, author of the new Maudsley Training Manual. In this video, we're looking at worksheet 4.2 about the decisional balance, and this is part 4. So there's 3 previous videos that you can have a look at as well. And in this one, we're looking at compulsive exercise, which is very common with people with eating disorders, and also self-harm. So we'll look at those scenarios. So remember, there are 4 quadrants. There's the pros of sticking with the behaviour, the cons of sticking with the behaviour, the cons of changing the behaviour, and the pros of changing the behaviour. And we need to consider all 4 quadrants to really be able to support our loved ones. So this is a scenario around compulsive exercise. So we've got Jade, who's 22, recovering from anorexia, but she's developed an intense exercise regime. So she does a 10K run every morning, a rigorous 1.5 hour dog walk, and several trips to the gym every week. She would like to go to the gym more, but has agreed with her mum and the coach that her gym visits need to be monitored. But her safety rule is that she needs to do 35,000 steps a day, and she uses her Fitbit to monitor that. And basically, an average healthy adult should be doing anywhere between 4,000 and 18,000 steps a day. So 10,000 steps would be a reasonable target, and Jade's target is 35,000 steps. Okay, so in terms of the pros of her exercise regime, again, you've got the safety and control. They always are there in that first quadrant. Jade says it gives me lots of routine and structure to my day. Being outdoors and doing the exercise gives me endorphins. It clears my head. I'm good at it. It gives me permission to eat, and eating is obviously really important. I can connect with my dog. And I also quite enjoy the solitude of being out in the fresh air and on my own. The negatives of my exercise regime, I have to admit I've got some niggling injuries, so foot pain, knee, joint pain, hamstring injuries. I'm taking ibuprofen daily. It is pretty exhausting. I feel absolutely shattered a lot of the time. Very time consuming. I'm quite socially isolated because I'm always doing exercise. And my parents and family and friends are all always worried about me and unhappy and frustrated. Okay, what would I lose if I gave up my exercise regime? This is really scary. So I feel I'd lose my identity because exercise is a really big part of me. I'd lose attention, control. The eating disorder voice wouldn't like it. So my friend, the eating disorder voice, would be going, you should be doing more exercise. And it's my coping strategy. And also I have this huge fear that if I don't do all the exercise, I just will get really fat. And I feel I'd be better off dead. It's kind of a compulsion. I have to do it. I wouldn't be able to eat if I didn't do the exercise. And how would I get through the day? And I feel strong when I'm doing the exercise. So those are all good reasons not to give it up. And then in terms of the advantages of reducing my exercise regime, I know deep down I'd have more energy and I could be more sociable. Everyone would be happier. I would be healthier. I could get a proper job. I don't have time to do a proper job when I'm doing all this exercise. I could carry on with my open university degree, which again I don't have time for at the moment. And I could look forward to a future with getting married, having kids, a career, and all of that sort of thing. So I can see both sides. Okay, so the second scenario in this video is on self-harm. So we know that many people with eating disorders physically harm themselves, and it's really scary for carers or teachers at school. And your natural instinct when you find out a young person is self-harming is just to tell them to stop. And of course, that's more likely to drive them underground, and they'll just self-harm in secret than if you try and step into their shoes and come alongside them. So again, the decisional balance can be really, really useful tool at the beginning of this process to help the young person to kind of weigh up where they want to go next, and if they want to consider other alternatives to their self-harm. So quadrant 1, this is just a generic scenario of somebody who's self-harming. So the benefits of self-harming behaviours, so control, I'm good at it, it gets me attention, I feel euphoric when I do it, I get that real adrenaline buzz, it's a real release. The physical pain when I do it is easier to bear than the emotional pain that I've got all bottled up inside all the time. It makes me feel alive because sometimes I just feel nothing, and the pain of the harm makes me feel alive. And it's my coping strategy. It keeps me alive. Without it, I don't think I'd be able to keep going. So it's a survival tool for me. And also when I see the blood, it makes me feel alive as well, because, you know, you have to be alive to have blood, don't you? So those are all the benefits. Just takes away all those bad feelings. What might be the disadvantages of my self-harm? It's painful. I've got lots of ugly scars and people sometimes comment on them. My friends and family get really upset about it. They don't really like to think about it or talk about it. It makes me feel guilty and ashamed. There's still so much stigma. It's getting worse. I have to do it more to get the same benefit. It does make me isolated. There's not really anyone I can sort of talk to properly about it. So yeah, I can see that it would be good to let it go if I could. In terms of the quadrant 3, why am I afraid of letting go of my self-harm? What would I replace it with? I'd lose control. It's the only coping strategy at the moment that actually works. I can't imagine not doing it. I'd have to face up to the emotional pain. I wouldn't have that release. I'm scared I wouldn't be able to cope. And how would I communicate my pain? I just don't know how I would do that. And then in terms of the pros of letting go of self-harm, so moving on and finding other alternatives, everyone around me would be much happier. I could wear clothes that show off my arms and legs once my scars are toned down a bit. You know, once they're faded, they're not so bad. I wouldn't have to be hiding away the whole time. Maybe I could have a boyfriend. I could be proud of myself. I could find lots of coping strategies maybe that would give me the same benefits. So it might be something relaxing, or it might be, you know, being outside or being with people. It could be anything to do with music, drama, art, that sort of thing. I have thought about those things, and life in general will be so much better. Okay, so again, a couple of common examples. Remember, with the decisional balance, it's a really useful tool to look at the possibility of making changes. And so in both of these cases, the young person might decide to try to make changes, and as a carer, you can really help them to plan that. But they also might decide, actually, for the time being, I'm going to stick with my behaviours, but at least I've thought about making those changes. So I hope you found this video useful. All of these videos and the worksheets can be downloaded from www.newmaudsleykcarers-kent.co.uk. Thank you.